I honestly don't think that most toxic bosses woke up one morning deciding to be evil. I think they started out as a new manager trying to do a good job. But without realising it, and for reasons I'll explain, they slipped into 5 specific habits which destroyed their team's trust. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 subtle behaviours that turn a good person into a bad boss, so that if you're a manager, you can stop them before they even start. My name's Lucy, and in this channel, Lucy on Life, I aim to help people be happy at work and happy in life. Mistake number 1, trying to be the hero. You're so busy trying to prove that you deserve to be in this new manager role that you pretend to know everything. You try and fix everything, you try and do everything. The problem with this is that you'll very quickly burn yourself out, and you're also going to disempower your people. Your people are your greatest assets. What you should be doing is helping them to do their job rather than trying to do everybody's job for them. The way to approach this and what to do instead is to ask questions rather than having all the answers. Say things like, I'm here to clear the blockers, not to do all the tasks, and encourage others to shine, and then you'll rise with them. Your role is not about being the cleverest person in the room, having all the answers. It's the role is very much about creating the space and creating the environment where clever, smart, brilliant things are more likely to happen, and help your team to make those things happen. Mistake number 2, avoiding difficult conversations. So it's very easy, especially when you're in a new job, to notice things that you think should be done differently, but you don't tackle them and you assume they'll go away on their own. But the problem with that is that they don't go away on their own, they actually get worse. And before you know it, you've got a much bigger problem on your hands. And not only that, you're showing yourself as somebody that doesn't tackle issues, that doesn't get stuck in when something needs to change. Quiet resentment can build in this environment, and the team can quickly lose their trust in you just at the moment when you should be trying to build trust. So a way of tackling that is to point out the thing that you want to talk about in a gentle way. Say something like, I've noticed this, whatever it is, can we have a conversation about it? Don't delay, have that conversation quickly and directly, but do give that feedback in a way that you would want to receive feedback. So be clear and be kind, and make it a two-way conversation. Try to understand what's going on as well as point out whatever it is that needs to change. It's very difficult to create an atmosphere of mutual respect if you're avoiding difficult conversations. Mistake number 3, not setting clear expectations. So you're a new manager. It's understandable. You want to be everybody's friend. You've maybe been their friend before your promotion, and it can be quite hard to make that shift. So that can mean that you're fuzzy around the edges when it comes to being clear about what you expect. The problem with this is that the team will be confused. They won't necessarily have heard a deadline or what the task specifically is if you haven't been clear. You feel disappointed, and the team feels like you don't trust them. What to do instead is to be specific and be clear. So if you're setting a task, make sure that it's specific, make sure it's measurable, so you know how you will know when it's done, and set a time frame. So you're really clear that, this task needs to be done by Friday at noon. I expect this, that, this other thing to be completed, and just be very, very clear. I think clarity is one of the most important aspects of good leadership. Clear communication builds confidence in you. And I know that it's something I've learned over the years is absolutely vital. Mistake number 4 is treating everybody exactly the same. Now, that might be counterintuitive because you might be thinking to yourself, hang on a minute, we need to be fair and we need to be equal. But not everybody needs the same things. Different people need different support from their line manager. And understanding that and being adaptable to their different needs whilst being equal and fair is absolutely vital in successful management. Different people are motivated by different things. So learning that about your team, having those early conversations about how do you like to be managed so that I can support you best is absolutely vital in those early weeks as a new manager. Make sure you learn about individual preferences. Some people like verbal feedback, some people like written feedback, some people don't want to hear any feedback. No, people like different ways of being worked with. I know that I will come across as very independent, very capable, very busy, and so I will almost push away support from my line manager, which means I then don't get feedback from them. And then I start feeling that I've done something wrong because I haven't heard from my manager. So it's a sort of a doom loop that I've experienced at times in my career. So providing the space to your people to tell you how they like to be managed is absolutely vital. And then you build trust with them, you give them what they need. It's perfectly possible to be flexible in your style of managing without treating people unfairly. And don't mistake equality for equity. So because some people might need extra or different support to thrive, that's about equity, and it is still completely within the realms of being fair and encouraging as a successful manager. Mistake number 5, and I think I've probably been guilty of this one over the years. So forgetting to celebrate. We can get so wrapped up in being busy, in achieving more, getting things done, that we forget to take a step back and celebrate with our team. Just take a breath, take a moment, and just celebrate those wins, celebrate the achievements, whatever they are. Maybe they feel quite small, but it's pretty powerful to take a moment just to mark a milestone or an achievement. If you don't, the danger is that morale will plummet and people's motivation will dip and they won't feel appreciated, and it has a huge negative effect on the way people feel. So shifting that and making time for celebration is super important. In one team that I managed, I had a little box with different sounds that I could play depending on what had happened. So if there was if I got an email from somebody saying we've achieved this or we've been awarded this contract or whatever it was, I could run out across the room with my silly clapping applause noise or whatever, or a laughing joke if it was something funny, and I could run around, and it was just a bit of silliness, a bit of fun, but it was just a moment just to sort of stop and acknowledge to the whole team, the wider team, that there'd been a success. Or you can send an email round saying shout out to Fred, he's achieved his goals this week. But if you start doing things like that, make sure you carry on doing them. So they do require some thought and planning. And I think another piece around sharing and celebrating is don't just share within your own team, share upwards so that maybe more senior managers can see how the team's performing, and maybe, the chief executive, if they're walking past and they see somebody who's just achieved something, they can acknowledge them too. Those moments are really powerful, but beware of only shining a light on certain people. So that's where, if you've got the sales team are always having the clapping moments and, the big hurrahs, but what about the administrative team? Maybe there's a success that they've contributed to or some achievement that they've got. So make sure that you're spreading those awards and those celebrations evenly throughout the organisation. So I hope you found today's video helpful. It's part of my mini series aimed at new managers and helping new managers to be successful. But hopefully, even if you're an old manager or not a manager, you found something to learn in here as well. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. If you recognise any of these habits in your boss, then watch this video next to learn how to protect yourself from them.